Don't you say it like, yeah, man.
There you go. That one. Do it.
Hi, good people. I'm on Seven's channel today.
Okay, hold on. Start again. Just start it. Just like that. Like, start right now. Do it.
Well, okay. Okay. When I say qualifications, does that sound kind of boring or what?
Qualifications? It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't have any qualifications.
Yeah, you do.
Not really.
Oh, Kevin knows a lot. Yeah, you do, Kevin.
Well, I might know some things, but a qualification would be like some sort of degree in these certain subjects that qualify me to make these factual statements as a scientific absolute thing. I don't really have any qualifications, but I mean, I have personal experience, so I have wisdom and knowledge. Have knowledge of these things, but I don't have official qualifications. As if there were a such type of qualification to talk about mind control, you would have to be like an expert in neurology and an expert in you would have to be like a professor of neurology and a scientist at the same time as some kind of electrical engineer, a spectrum expert. I don't know. You have to be a lot of things to be actually qualified to talk about the things, and have it be said to be fact. You'd have to really show all sorts of scientific evidence, which is what we're starting to lean towards. Being able to have actual scientific evidence.
Yeah. Especially with that's what you're going for with thinking about or you have done that, the EMF, the photo stuff, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's pretty vague, but and I don't have any technical specifications to go along with the results that I achieve, but it would only take a little bit of learning probably to start to. I want to get better at it first and find better programs that do it better, to where it's not so debatable. It's a lot of people, even though I've done it 1,000 times and a lot of people can see all kinds of stuff in these edits, it's not it's not 100% to everybody's like, oh yeah, definitely. Like, I want people to accuse me of making it fake, right? I want it to be that good, where you could just about read the script in the broadcast and just about see exactly who it is. And I want people to be saying that I photoshopped it when it's that good. And then, then what are they going to say then? Then I could really call it scientific evidence, and I get down to how it's exposing certain waves in certain frequency ranges and what type of waves those are, and if we should use a certain kind of camera to capture those waves better in the first place and make them in the visible spectrum, or possibly a full spectrum photography camera where it takes a picture of the full spectrum outside of the normal specifications, like a normal camera taking a picture of a range of the frequency that's very similar to the human eye visual range, which is a certain certain type of waves can't be seen, like the infrared spectrum and everything under that. And then I think it's like up to ultraviolet can't be seen, I think, but then everything kind of under infrared and down to a certain point can be seen by human eyes, but not the other ones outside of that range. And cameras are not really taking a picture of that in most cases. So a full range photography, which a camera that's like $10,000 or $20,000, full spectrum photography, it may pick up a lot more of the broadcast, in the beginning, without having to try to edit to expose things, to just actually pick it up. Because what a normal camera may pick up, since the broadcast we know is present, and you can't physically see it that well most of the time. So that would mean that it may be out of the spectrum of normal human visual. So,
Right.
but we're still seeing it in photos and stuff like that. So what if we were to take it a step farther and get a full range, a full spectrum photography camera? I looked them up. They're like 15,000-20,000 really. I wasn't making that up. So, but they
You
take
better start being cool with Robert Duncan. You better stop hating on him. He probably got one of them in
No,
his basement.
I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on him. It's just like I said though. If for some, we may have talked before. I don't know. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying that it would seem like somebody that helped develop this technology would easily be able to show anybody how to access it. Since I got gang stalkers up and down my street on these internet sites accessing neural monitoring, doing all this stuff. So, obviously somebody that helped develop this technology would be able to access the technology. As you come out and you talk about it, but you don't do anything about it, and that's suspect. Are you even really certain about the things you're talking about? Because do you know how this works?
No, he knows, but you're right. He might be connected. Because you figure when you work for the CIA and the DOD, that's like big time risky work. If he goes against them, they could kill him.
Well,
like remember the director of the CIA? He reported that there was a pedophile ring going on. They were running it, and he was the director, and they found him dead, like floating in the Panama River, like a couple days after he.
Yeah, I understand how those things could definitely be happening, but
yeah. Remind me tonight. We're doing like a little signal.
It's the same thing though. Look,
if I'm overexposing something.
Well, no, we can talk as deep as you want to. That's what people want to hear anyway. The real opinions of the people that they listen to anyway, about the other people that they listen to and stuff like that. That's what people want to hear. It's not like I'm here to try to start an internal conflict. But if you're worried about somebody coming after you for exposing it, then why come out and say a bunch of stuff about it that may not necessarily be the truth anyway? You're still coming out about it. You're just not coming out about it in the way that would actually help anybody. So what are you actually trying to do? Is he trying to spread propaganda to lead people in the wrong direction? Because if you're exposing it,
yeah.
You're trying to lead somebody in some direction by coming out with this information. I would like people to hear this and know that this is going on. So why? But why aren't you doing? It's it's online. It's online. You know what I mean? All these gang stalkers, there's gang stalkers everywhere, and there's more targeted people coming out every single day talking about artificial telepathy, V2K or whatever, and remote neural monitoring and gang stalking. Not just the people that say, oh, I had, the headlights ride past me, or I've seen some people on their phones at the grocery store. Not that type of thing, but more people that are really sitting in their own home talking to people somewhere else. People that know exactly what they're thinking. Every thought that they have. And then people can become under attack by these broadcasts, and these gang stalkers are sitting in their houses on these mind control headsets and doing this stuff. And it's happening to more and more people. And the gang stalkers are giving it to more and more people to become future gang stalkers. And there's nobody telling them who they can and can't give it to. They're just doing whatever they want. So, when these people all have it up and down the street, and they're giving it to their friends, and then they're giving it to their people, and it spreads like a virus or something. It just spreads because everybody's giving it to everybody now. Right. It's not coming from one source. Everybody's giving it to everybody, and more people are becoming targeted. So there's this whole underground thing where you got the people that have it and the people that don't have it. And the people that don't have it are being live streamed and gang stalked or mind raped, or, all sorts of things that are going on to those people. And the people that do have it, they think they're extra cool,
Yeah.
They think they're extra cool, and they hang around, each other. And they make money off of us, the people that don't have access. But then you have all these other people that are coming out saying, oh, this is going on, and it's a secret CIA thing, and civilians don't have this technology. And then people talking about they developed it, and then people out there talking about strange fungus diseases and nanoparticles and everything but what's really going on, which is a EMF broadcast, just strictly waves, and a bunch of people have access to it, and everybody can just broadcast and live virtually as broadcast and connect to people unconsensually, and they can do this all from their home with a relatively cheap little mind control headset. What's that?
Say, how come it's so popular? Why don't I have?
You're
How do that?
you're
You're in
targeted. You're targeted. It's not something that you're going to search on Google. Hey, remote neural monitoring. So and go and find your neural monitoring. It's a thing that somebody's going to probably have to give you unless you can crack the whole thing and get into hacking and find it somewhere within your own stuff, probably where they're all into your stuff. They're all into everybody's stuff. With hacking and everything else. They're all over the social medias, like on secret little apps or whatever, where they're sharing around live streams for neural monitoring and all kinds of stuff. So, and it's a whole underground market going on with all of that. They're not going to give it to you because you're targeted. Right, so somebody's been doing some shit to you, and then if you get access to your neural monitoring, there's somebody at your mercy at that point. They owe you something, or they're scared to go to prison or something. Because somebody's been doing stuff to you for some amount of time, that they're going to go to any length to make sure that you don't get access to neural monitoring now. So it's not like somebody's going to offer it up to you. Anybody who's dealing with neural monitoring could just easily say, oh, okay, who's this person? Let me try to scan them in. And when you try to scan them in, you probably just come to whoever's got them scanned in or whatever. So if people try to put you on, it's going to default to they're already on. And it looks like this is the person that put them on. So, and they trade each other, trade neural monitors like a human trafficking, like the black market. So, but they're not gonna, once you're targeted, you're a risk to the whole operation. And the operation is just basically kind of as free as the drug industry, okay, where you can, not industry, like the underground drug world, where, anybody can start to sell drugs and anybody can come up with stuff, and people can be involved with all of that.
Connection, but they have a connection usually too in the drug world. When they enter that, there is a connection, a person that comes up to them that gives them hunger.
It's the same way though, with neural monitoring. Like somebody's going to say, hey, check this out, check this thing that we've been doing out. And at first, you become a user of it, and then over time, if you're that type of person, you start to develop ways to make money off of this. But let me put all these people on, and then I can deal with their neural monitorings or allow people to do live streams. And you just got all these little things happening. So you might get $10 a day from a certain thing, but you might have 30 of those things going on, and make a quick 300 or something like that. If you got 30 people on, you're making a little bit off of every one of their live streams. Then you don't have to make much when you got a whole bunch of people on neural monitoring. So if you own a bunch of neural monitoring, so they just trade it around, like kind of like the drug game, and whoever's got the weight or bringing it in, whoever's putting people on, they're having a lot of success with this if they got a lot of people on. So
like a pyramid scheme.
It is, but there's no hierarchy. I mean, there's probably a hierarchy to some degree, but there's no structure and there's no oversight. You can do whatever you want with the technology. So whenever people are like, oh, there's this program, they get paid this amount and that amount, maybe they do. But if they do, it's because they took the time to make this a business for themselves rather than, just being a mind control junkie and bothering people all the time. If you're not doing the business side of it and starting to do the live streams or starting to buy and sell mind control experiences or targeted people that are on remote or whatever, then at that point you can start to become a business person within this whole mind control neural monitoring scandal. But prior to that, the only business people, are the pharmaceutical companies and whatever politicians or whatever have to gain from all of this.
I hear you. I follow exactly where you're coming from. So it's the different levels of it. You got your high level dealers, you got your low level dealers, just like the drug game. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that probably end up with 1,000 neural monitors, and they make $10 a day off each of them. So they're making $10,000 a day or something. But then you got the people that will quickly sell a neural monitor and they get some crack rock or whatever they're smoking on. And then, they don't end up with a whole bunch of neural monitors. They just end up doing gang stalking, trying to do live streams to make a percentage, hustling just to support their habit, which is mind control. So it's just like the drug industry, really.
Yep. Sounds like it.
You know, most of them are users. The higher ups probably don't want to touch this addictive shit that much. And, you know, the most junky ones are going to be the ones that don't gain as much from it, rather just support their habit.
True. Wow, what a weird little world, eh?
Yeah, that's really how it works, though.
Yep. You shed a lot of light on that. I think people will be really interested to hear that, Kevin.
Yeah, I believe so too.
I really think I am and trade them. I kind of figured they did.
Well, I mean, you hear so much other stuff about, you know, you hear about like these, they get a $50 gift card or a new coat or something. You hear about all these weird ass things, you know, and then you hear other stuff, which.
I'm going to tell you how you can tell somebody's a gang stalker when they start getting new shit. You're like, what? You just got a new car.
No, that's not true though, really. Look. People every day people getting new cars. Everybody wants some new ass cars to finance, you know, and they got all these deals at the dealership, and they'll do anything. They'll tie your ass in for like 6 or 7 years, paying a whole bunch of damn money. But if you can go get it, people are going to get that shit. So, you know, that's why they got a new car, because everybody wants to blow a bunch of money all the time. You know, but that doesn't make them a gang stalker. And people that work jobs and you know, maybe there is, like I always say, everybody's not a gang stalker. The gang stalkers are the junkies that are trying to support their habits. So I guess, you know, we need to come up with a more of a name for the higher ups that own a bunch of neural monitors and use all of these junkies to do their little live streams and just collect a percentage on each one. You know, what's the name for them? Because they're not physically out here doing much gang stalking, but they're definitely you know, pushing it. They're pushing the thing. They're like I don't want to say like a kingpin, because there's probably some people above them, but you know, anybody can be whatever. It just depends on how you try to take over the mind control game, because it is like a whole underground industry that's going on. They're all using PayPal and Green Dots and Cash apps and stuff like that to transfer all kind of money and cryptocurrencies. There's like hundreds of different ways to deal with money that don't really require dealing with money or an actual bank account, you know? So yeah. There's a lot of things going on with the internet, and they're all shuffling money around everywhere like that. You know, and who knows if it's not so big that advertising companies and stuff like that aren't already in on that level too, you know, because if somebody knows about it, they know about it.
Just like with regular trafficking, yeah, they're in on it. It's just unspoken, you know. It's a secret. It's the open secret, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, you are shedding a lot of light. You sure you want to talk about this? You haven't started recording yet, have you?
I kind of did a few minutes ago.
And then you also kind of have that quality, like a brother / guy friend. You know, you give off that vibe.
Yeah.
Like you can relieve the women. You know? No, you know, not like in a player type of way, but like in a, you know, when you're a woman talking to a man, it's some are better than others, you know, just different types of men. I guess, what do they call that? Emotional intelligence. Not just regular intelligence, but like emotionally, like you can. I get that vibe off you. I think probably your audience does too.
Well, I would say that it's more of a personality trait about your views and just your mannerism in general, rather than something aimed specifically, you know, at, hey, I'm talking to a girl, so let me act like a feminist or whatever it is that draws people into that thing. But I just try to act normal, right? Maybe I probably do. Yeah. I probably do act different with girls.
Lesbian type of girls.
I probably act different when I'm talking to girls. You know, it's funny. People in general, okay, we all act differently to people based on their appearance. We act a certain way towards people. And then after that, we start to judge them. Everybody judges each other. We start to judge each other, and then we act in accordance with the way that people are. It's like our interaction point that we, our style of interaction that we all adapt to each other person's personality. So you can't act the same way with one person that you could with other people. So you adapt. It's adaptive personalities, like personality compatibility adaptation or something like that. What if I start getting big and from now on everybody wants to do the introduction themselves and say, yeah, man. And so I'm going to have to make a deal with everybody. Like, all right, you get to do it as long as you can say, yeah, man. It's going to be the new thing.